50s, after the rodeo, he said the cowboys would all go down to the local tavern for a little liquid entertainment. And he said usually there was a guitar around, either when the cowboys brought it or there might be one just hanging on the wall there in the place. And they'd pull it down and trade songs. And he said this particular song was always good for several free drinks if he could either sing it or write the words down to it for one of the cowboys who wanted it. Now, what does that have to do with transportation? It's about cowboys. But it's about a cowboy who makes the mistake of letting his friends talk him into getting on a bicycle. They didn't even know what it was. They just called it that Gol Darned Wheell. Well, I can ride the wildest bronco in the wild and woolly west. I can rake him, I can break him, make him do his level best. I can handle any cattle, ever wore a coat of hair, and I had a lively tussle with a tarnal grizzly bear. Well, I can rope and throw a long horn of the wildest Texas brand, and end in disagreements, I can take the lead in hand. But I finally met my master. Really made me squeal when the boys got me a straddle of that Gol Darned Wheell. It was a tenderfoot that brought it while he was on his way from this land of freedom out to San Francisco Bay. He tied it at the ranch house to get outside a meal, never dreaming that us cowboys would monkey with his wheel. Well, there was old Arizona, and there was Jack McGill. They said I'd been a brag and way too much about my skill. And they said you'll find yourself against a different kind of deal if you will climb a straddle of that Gol Darned Wheell. Well, such a slam against my talents made me madder than a mink. I swore that I would ride it for amusement or for change, that it was just a plaything for the kids in such a bout, and they'd have their ideas shattered if they let the critter out. Well, they held it while I mounted, and I give the word to go. The shove they give to start me weren't unreasonably slow. But I never spilled a cuss word. I never give a squeal. I was building reputation on that Gol Darned Wheell. Now the grade was mighty sloping from the ranch down to the creek, and I went a galley fluting like some crazy lightning streak, a whizzing and a darting, first this way and then that, with the darn contrivance wobbling like the flying of a bat. Well, I pulled up on the handles, but I couldn't check it up. I yanked and sawed and hollered, but the darn thing wouldn't stop. Then a crazy sort of notion in my brain began to steal. The devil had a mortgage on that Gol Darned Wheell. Well, I was kind of dim and hazy in remembrance of the stop, with the world going round and the stars all tangled up. Then come an intermission that lasted till I found I was lying at the bunkhouse of the boys all standing round. And a doctor was a-sewing on my skin where it was ripped. Old Arizona whispered, well, old boy, I guess you're whipped. Says I guess I'm busted from sombrero down to heel. And he grinned and said, you ought to see that Gol Darned Wheell.